2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stotz Equipment out in Preston. We appreciate you joining us here as the sun rises in a beautiful Friday morning here in Rich County, Utah. We've got a lot of action here on the plate for us today, including some pigs and then some goats later on. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have a lot of great contestants showing off all their hard work, and we'll even talk to one of them later on in the show. So we're excited to have you with us, and we're excited for another great day here at the 2020 Rich County Fair. I'm Matthew Peterson here on My Local Radio, and we're happy to have you along with us. We're going to have the first class of pigs beginning in just a few minutes. We'll see 12 pigs, one of 3 classes, and then afterwards at 10 a.m. we'll see 2 classes of goats. So a lot still here to go today. We had a great first day yesterday where we saw some lambs and then some steers. A lot of great work being displayed, and we're happy to be here. So once again, I'm Matthew Peterson, and we're going to be getting underway in just a few moments here as everyone's getting corralled, animals and humans, in the pen right now. And we'll take a quick break, though, but when we come back, we'll have our first class of pigs here at the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stotz Equipment.
Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, is your source for new and used equipment, parts, and service. The family-owned company was established in 1947 and still holds true to its founding values: quality, integrity, loyalty, caring, and community. From John Deere tractors and gators to mowers and handheld power tools, they have what you need to get the job done. Let them make your life easier. Stotz Equipment is located in Preston at 451 West, 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call at 208-852-3660.
We welcome you back here to the Rich County Fair. I'm Matthew Peterson, and now joined, as she's getting herself settled here, but Brandy Mills. Brandy, really the ringleader of this whole operation. Brandy, thank you for joining me again.
Hello, how are you? I am not the ringleader, but I'm just part of the circus.
You know, I will say that you're the kind of person, I think we all know this, in any kind of event, when something needs to be done or someone needs help, you're the point of contact.
Well, we do all kinds of different jobs.
Okay.
We got our fingers in a lot of pots.
Brandy, we had a great day yesterday. Any specific moments stick out to you as we go into day 2?
You know, I just thought this was fun. To have you guys here and streaming live so that we've got family and friends that can't be here, that they are able to watch this. I absolutely love it. I think the thing that stuck out most to me yesterday was that the quality of the kids that came in with their animals. They did outstanding all the way across the board. I mean, we didn't have one red ribbon animal. They were all blue ribbon animals. So that just tells you the quality of the animals. So that's awesome. And
Brandy, you touched on people not being able to be here this year, and that may be an unfortunate theme for the remainder of the year for Rich High School and their athletics, and that's why here at My Local Radio we're going to have you covered all season long. I myself will be going down to Kanab next Friday for the opening football game between the Rebels and the Cowboys. So if you're unable to make the drive for that game or just unable to come to home games, you'll be covered all season long on My Local Radio. And Matthew, we're excited to welcome you. Oh, I'm very happy to be here. I appreciate all the hospitality and just the warm and genuine welcoming everyone's passed on to me. Well, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I heard something yesterday that here in Rich County, you've already got a nickname, and if you already have a nickname in Rich County, then you're putting your mark on the world. What is the nickname? Chicago. Yeah, you know, I can't say I hadn't heard that already. Because I got added to the Rich High School Facebook page. Okay, awesome. And Ryan, who I'm replacing, his wife made a wonderful post and really thanked everyone for welcoming them to the community the last 7 years. And someone commented, "I met Chicago." Awesome. Nice guy. Awesome. Well, that's and you know, like I said, if you've already got a nickname, then you know the doors are open. Come on in. So. Welcome to Rich County. We're excited that you're going to be here, especially with our sports. We really appreciate what My Local Radio has done with our sport program here in the county. Well, I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm looking forward to a great season ahead of us for this year and the years to come. And touch on yesterday a little more, we saw a lot of great lambs, I beg your pardon, and steers, and I'm expecting the same to go through today.
Yes, I anticipate that too. I mean, we have actually, this is one of our bigger groups of hogs that we've had in the last few years. So we're up to 33 hogs this year. So that's fun that we even outgrew our pig pens. We had to increase some pig pens.
And on your screen right now, you see our official for today, Jim. He's kind of running through what he's looking for out of all the kids today and their animals. And I thought he did a great job yesterday of taking his time and giving every single animal the benefit of the doubt in a lot of ways, where if he walked by them at their maybe not their best moment, he came back for seconds and he looked at them two or three times or more.
Yeah, he did a great job. Jim comes to us with a lot of qualifications. He was a youth agent, 4-H agent, here in Utah for over 30 years, where he was over the Livestock and Ag program. He actually was the state Livestock and Ag program for over 5 years here in Utah. So he really has had some experience. He also raised 5 kids that did 4-H and FFA and showed all 4 of the species that we have in our cell. So looks like
we're beginning to have some people enter the pen.
Yep, we're slowly getting some pigs in here.
And we can run.
It's just taking these kids a second after sitting there visiting with the judge. They had to run back to their pens and bring in the hogs.
Let's run through the kids we're going to be seeing here in the first class of pigs. We have Chancy Bow, and she has her...
Chancy Bell.
Chancy Bell, I beg your pardon, with AIF. I'm curious what that stands for.
Oh, AIF.
AIF is the name of her pig. And then we have Tylee Tingy.
Yep.
With Frankie. I beg your pardon if I get these names wrong. I promise I'm going to learn them throughout the course of the day and the rest of the year. Then we have Sage Tingy with Sally. Casey Wilson with Tipper. I like that name, Tipper.
Yeah, hold that right there.
Darcy Bradshaw with Engine. Kyler Wilson with Wiggles. I think it's a very fitting name for a pig. Jaslyn Chandler with Lollipop. Very cute name. Eliza Ball with Miss Oreo. Haley Bell with Spider Pig. That may be in the running for the best name so far.
Spider Pig.
Yep. Faith Downing with Love, and we saw Faith yesterday.
Yes.
So I love to hear about how she's able to manage 2 animals at once. I mean, that's a lot on her plate.
It is a lot.
We have Tiana Chandler with Nugget. And then Emily Casillas with Pua.
Yep. Our little Emmy Casillas.
Emmy Casillas.
Yep.
And like I said, we saw Faith yesterday. So what is it like for these kids to be running 2 animals at once?
You know, it just requires double the dedication. Faith also has a steer, which she showed yesterday, and like we were talking about yesterday, so the steers they usually pick out and they have in their possession by November, so they're starting to care for them then. These hogs that they'll pick up around April, the beginning of May, and from there on it's double duty. So you feed one animal, then you go feed another animal. You walk one animal in the evening, put them away, go get the other animal. So it requires a lot more dedication. And we do have a handful of these kids. I think we have 12 this year that do have 2 species.
I mean, this is just a complete circus today compared to yesterday, but I got a lot of questions. The first one being, there's these red boards here on our left-hand side.
Okay.
What are those used for?
So those are known as pig boards.
Okay.
And we actually use them to, as you can see, we have gentlemen in the ring that are caring for them. A lot of these pigs are a funny creature. And sometimes they like to disagree with each other, and so we use the pig boards we don't want any of them fighting. Sometimes they'll get into little tiffs, so we utilize those pig boards a lot for that. But we also use it to help guide them. Obviously, a pig is not shown with a halter; it is shown on foot, and so the pig boards will sometimes help to guide them where we need to go. If we give them just a wall, we make a wall for them.
And right now, our official Jim, I mean, this is a completely different game compared to yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about what he's looking at here more than yesterday, where he had time to actually go up and feel each animal?
You know what? It is a little bit of mass chaos. But
I like to think it's organized chaos,
Yeah.
but it's turning into more mass chaos
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, it
We
really
already have
is.
a pig board down, so the pigs are winning that battle.
And that is really a possibility here. They may end up winning before we're all said and done today. What is Jim looking for today? He's looking for just the same thing that he was looking for yesterday, in the sense that he's looking for that optimal weight, that optimal hog. Obviously, with a hog, you don't have all of, you can't really cover up what they've got to offer. You can kind of see right there what they have to offer, and he doesn't have hands on, but he's looking for that market animal that is going to be the best animal for the industry. And so it is a little bit of a different challenge. My hat goes off to those folks that do a good job with judging hogs, because it is a lot. He obviously doesn't know any of our kids, and so he's watching also the kids and how they're showing, as well as the pigs. So just like in yesterday, we are showing both our market and our showmanship in the same class this year. A little bit different than what we've done in the past, but our plan, hoping that it worked okay yesterday. We'll see how it goes with the hogs. We've kind of allotted him a little extra time so that he has some time to look at the hogs and make his decisions with a little extra time too, with no pressure.
It's got to be extremely difficult for him to remember which pig he likes the most as they continue to just fly around for the most part in the pen right now.
Yeah, well, that really is true. We do have our clerk Taylor Wallentyne in the ring with him today, that if he has any that he wants to keep notes on or anything, he'll give her little comments that she can help track that for him. But his 30 plus years of experience really makes a difference with all of this, so that really helps.
What can the kids do right now to show the official the best side of their hog?
So they're going to want to keep that hog between themselves and the judge, if possible, at all time. Of course, this is a little bit hard with how they don't have any more control than using their pick stick. And you can see we got a couple of cute. Oh, he's going to talk.
Okay, welcome to the Rich County Fair Hog Show. Congratulations, guys. A really nice class here. Let's give them a round of applause for our first class. So in this class, we have some different age groups, and we're also grading at the same time. Hogs are the species that we have. All of the primal cuts are the closest together in price. There's not as much difference in the price cuts, primals, and the lower ones. But there's still a significant difference on what we're looking at. The highest price major cut, the one that makes you the most money, and I'm sure all of you understand why, is the belly. That belly wall needs to be wide, it needs to be deep, it needs to be long, because all of our muscle has 3 dimensions to it, and when we weigh that out and times it by the price that costs for those primals, that's where we get the carcass value, and that's where we make our bacon, and we put that on everything, so naturally it's the highest one. The second one is that longissimus dorsi muscle that comes down the back, where we have our pork chops or our whole loin roasts. And so you can see why length on hogs matters, but also width and depth. And we have some really nice hogs here. We, in order to hit our carcass ideals, we need about 4/10 of an inch back fat and 9/10 rib. And the reason we measure it there instead of the last rib is hogs are our only species, market species, that have different number of ribs. And so we can't really say 13th rib, because some will have 13 and some will have more than that. All of our market species will fatten or lay on condition from front to back and top to bottom. So we're checking up over the shoulders, we're checking down over the ribs, and then right back in the crotch there for amount of condition. That's how we know how much they're going to have all the way through. And then there are only species that the female of the species doesn't fatten as quickly as the male. All of the other species, the female has a tendency to mature out a whole lot easier and quicker. So, you know, we kind of keep all of that in mind. We look for quality of product and quantity of product, and all of these are going to fit into that quality grade. Structure-wise, there are some that angles are a little steep and they're a little tight, and you can see they struggle to move just a little. But that fits into our overall idea of those star animals. Those are going to come back in for champion. And we're also going to bring the ones back in for our showmanship. So that's what I'm looking at. The ones that I'm going to ask to come back in our star class, and we're going to look at again for champion. Young lady right here in the cowboy hat. We're also going to look at her for showmanship. Young lady right here. And she's going to be in both the junior showmanship and our quality class. Young lady right here in the showmanship. Young lady right here. Lady right here in the junior showmanship. When I look at those, I look structurally, I look at quality of product and quantity of product, and we measure three-dimensional muscle just by examining. We have pigs that are a little bit lighter muscle, like this black gilt right in front of us here, but still more than adequate. She's got way more than the average commercial pig will have. A real wide, deep, kind of a belly wall, enough condition. So, you know, that kind of a pig you're going to be really happy with if that's the one that ends up in your freezer. There's none of these pigs that really have a problem with fitting into the blue ribbon. If we were to place them all the way down through, we could sort off and send them out one at a time and talk about differences in them, but all of them, if you end up with them, you're going to be excited about them. So we have quite a few out here. I talked to the kids earlier about trying to avoid the pile-ups and all of those kinds of things. They've done just a super job on showmanship. It's tough to drive a pig and get all of the things out of it that we need, but they're doing a nice job with that. We're going to send them out from the bottom, and although we're doing that, we're not really calling them red ribbon or lower quality hogs. We're just going to place them maybe on the return that you would get for your money if you were to buy them. And we're going to give blue ribbons to everything. First one I'm going to send out is the young lady right there. Real nice hog, a little bit lighter muscle than the ones we have here, especially when you're looking at three-dimensional kind of muscle. Young lady over here with a lighter hog on the far end, a little less product return there on him. you can see the differences in size and maybe just a little bit in muscle. He just needs a little more time on feed. That will be the next one that goes out. We have about 3 hogs in here that are really, really similar in type, in the amount of product, the amount of muscle. We'll send the young lady here with our blue butt barrel up next.
There we go. Swing that, Jace.
The one that we're going to go with next, very similar in type to the one that I sent out. Just a little bit smoother in his condition, a little more even all the way back through, but really, really close in muscle type. That will be the next one that goes out. Then we have one that structurally maybe is not quite as free and easy moving. When you look, the shoulder angles are a little steep. He's a little wide in the front, but a tremendous amount of muscle on him. That's the young lady over here with our heavier muscle, a little bit shorter, made kind of a hog. You can see when he walks that he's just not quite comfortable in his skeleton there. But really a quality product, quantity product, but maybe struggles just a little skeleton here. I think our next one will be this black spotted gilt here, going away from us. That hog may be just the next lightest muscle one that we have. Extremely well conditioned, just a real smooth, even finish on her. Not excess condition for sure, maybe right on the verge of just being into that spot, but a really nice job with her. I think our next lightest muscle one, a little bit shallower middle, a little bit tighter gut to her is our black belt over here. That will be the next one that we send out. Another just really nicely presented and even, smooth conditioned kind of a hog. Maybe just a little bit less return if we're going to buy that hog and put it in our freezer. But real quality kind of product there. We've got a barrel here that I mentioned sometimes the barrels will finish just a little quicker. This pig is laid on condition, not quite as even and smooth as some of the others, starting to put on a little here in the jowl. And then when he walks, he kind of jiggles, but a real long strided, nice made kind of a barrel. Maybe just a little uneven in his condition. We'll let him out next. Okay, I think that I have all 4 of these coming back in. So I'm just going to leave them that way and we'll place them in our star class. We'll look at all of them for our star class as well as showmanship. Nice job, guys. Thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. We won't place these until...
And we want to say big congratulations to all of our contestants today. Those who will be coming back for another class later on are Jaslyn Chandler with Lollipop, Darcy Bradshaw with Engine, Sage Tingy with Sally, and Faith Downing with Love. Oh, also Emma Casillas with Pua. So a big congratulations to them and to everyone else here in our first class. We saw some great hogs out there, and more importantly, we saw a lot of hard work pay off.
A lot of hard work. These kids worked really hard, and I don't know if you know, with the cameras, I don't know what kind of a view our audience is getting, but these kids are working really hard and their determination is just with them the entire show. They don't give up. They stay right with their hog, and they are staying with them and working hard.
We have our second class now entering, correct?
Yes.
So our
Yes.
second class is comprised of AJ Bell with Bacon Seed, Jaden Bell with Bat Pig, Bowen Watts with Stinky, Wyatt Tingy with Chunky, Bronk Downing with Bologna, Grace Tibbetts with Tocino,
We need class 2.
Hazer Hoffman with Oreo,
Ready to enter the ring. Class 3, be prepared. So class 2.
Chloe Negus with Sped,
Your hogs up front. Let's get y'all in the ring.
Traxon Chandler with Double Bubble, Hillary Rex with FP. We saw Hillary yesterday with a lamb.
Steer.
A steer, I
she
beg
came
your-
in. Yeah, she came in with a steer.
Yes. And Sage Bradshaw with Wilbur. And that is our second class. So we're going to take a quick break here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be with our second class after this break, brought to you by Stoats Equipment, your local John Deere dealership.
You don't want to choose between quality and quantity. And with John Deere 6M Series utility tractors, you don't have to. The powerful loader tractor with incredible visibility and maneuverability allows you to easily make your way through tight corrals, feed your herd, bale your hay, and mow in comfort. With 8 models ranging from 110 to 195 horsepower, the 6M is fully customizable, so you get everything you need and nothing you don't. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us, Stoats Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, located in Preston at 451 West 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call, 208-852-3660.
Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stoats Equipment, your local John Deere dealership. I'm Matthew Peterson here on my local radio. Joining me today is the always wonderful Brandy Mills. Brandy, I want to talk to you about this class here because there's some bigger pigs out there.
Yes.
And are these pigs bred to be bigger from the get-go?
You know what? All of these pigs should all, you know, they're all working for our optimal weights. Which our lowest weight that we accept in our show is 210, and our highest weight is going to be 300. And so that's what they're all shooting for. And we just, as we started with that first class, we started with our lower weight. So we had hogs in there from 210 up to 238, and we're looking at our middle class. So you know, you want a pig that isn't underdone and isn't overdone. So these are our they're right down the middle of the road. So we're going to start to see some bigger pigs. These kids they really do look really nice out there. Today they've got a really good set of pigs out there. And so these pigs are all going to weigh between 247 pounds and 274 pounds. Like I said, a really good class of pigs. Our judge, Jim Jensen, has got his hands full. And, you know, I have to, you know.
Okay, here's another just really, really nice class.
That was a
I've been
quick
impressed
ruling.
with the whole show so far on the quality of animals and showmanship that we've had. When you look at the qualifications for a blue ribbon, again, for me, with structure and the quality of the product that's there, as far as when we harvest those animals, what they're going to look like in the cooler, as well as the quantity, what you're going to get for the money spent. I think that again in this class we don't have anything that is really close to dropping out of the blue ribbon. We have some that are a little bit more marginal. We have one that structurally is not quite maybe what he needs to be. He also is the one that shows maybe just a little more condition than we'd like to see at this point. The eating quality on this animal is going to be extremely high. Maybe the quantity not quite so much. And then when we look at him structurally, we'd like to maybe free him up, maybe make him just a little bit longer, but a tremendous amount of the right kind of quality. Young man over here on the far end, we'll let him out first, the white barrel. We have 3 or 4 that need the quantity or what they're going to return for you. They're not quite as heavy muscled, and so although the condition on them is really, really acceptable, a couple of the measurements, like they're all just really long-bodied, all 3 of these next ones that I'm going to send out, really long-bodied, but maybe just not the volume, the width and depth of muscle. Nicely fed out, nicely presented for me, pretty easily blue ribbons, but we'll send them out. Young lady here will go out next. Young man over here on the far side with the black gilt will be our next one out. And those 2 are just kind of on the total amount of product, total volume. And you can see as they walk out that structurally they're really nice, they're really sound. Just not quite the width, the thickness, the depth of some of these that we have left out here. But really acceptable kind of products. The next one out fits right into that mold. We're going to ask her to come back in our showmanship. Young lady right over here with our white pig. Our next hog for me is another one we had earlier on here. He is a little more structurally sound and maybe not quite carrying as much condition as the one that went out. But you'd like to maybe just clean him up just a little bit, maybe lengthen him out just a little. We'll let the young man over here on the far side go out next. A little bit shorter made, shorter bodied kind of a hog that is conditioned extremely well, really wide all down the top and especially back through the ham. That ham is kind of an indicator of total muscling, but it's also the lowest price cut that we have on that carcass. We'll let the young man right against the fence here go out next. Not necessarily by design, but we have some really excellent quality showmen here, some excellent pigs. I think that all of these, for me, kind of deserve to be right towards the top of the sale order. That's what we'll place when we start in our final draw here, our final class. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to end up with in the next class. but all of these I've been looking at as showmen too. So I think we're going to bring all 5 of these back in. I know we'll have a big class, but we can kind of narrow that down relatively quick. I'd just like to take another look at our showmen as well as our quality hogs here. Let's give them a round of applause and we'll invite these 5 back in.
Okay.
For those of you that are wondering about what I'm talking about with our quality and showmanship, they're wearing different colored armbands signifying which age group they're in, junior, intermediate, or senior. So we're going to place our top 2 juniors, our top 2 seniors, our top 2 intermediates in showmanship, as well as start our quality class. And so we're going to invite them in that drive and place them there.
So that was a big group of hogs that our judge Jim Jensen had to deal with, and he's going to have AJ Bell, Wyatt Tingy, Grace Tibbetts, Hazer Hoffman, and Traxon Chandler all come back for that final drive in both showmanship and market. And Sage Bradshaw also is coming back for that, and then he's also going to bring back Chloe Nagus for the showmanship final drive. So that's exciting. That is really good. In the other class, I think that they were bringing back Sage Tingy, Darcy Bradshaw, Jaslyn Chandler, Faith Downing, and Emmy Casillas. And they are all coming back for the final drive also in some market and showmanship. That was just a really, really good class of hogs, and he had his hands full there with that class.
He absolutely did, and first and foremost, congratulations to all those coming back, and a big congratulations to really everyone involved as well, again, for all the hard work. And to our left here, we're having a hog that's not being very compliant about what's happening. He'd rather not be here at the moment, it appears, but the show goes on. And we're going to take a quick break, actually, as we get our 3rd class ready and out here in the pen. So don't go anywhere. We're back in just about 30 seconds. And this ad is brought to you by Stotz Equipment.
Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, is your source for new and used equipment, parts, and service. The family-owned company was established in 1947 and still holds true to its founding values: quality, integrity, loyalty, caring, and community. From John Deere tractors and gators to mowers and handheld power tools, they have what you need to get the job done. Let them make your life easier. Stotz Equipment is located in Preston at 451 West, 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call at 208-852-3660.
Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair, and in front of you we have our 3rd class of pigs. They range from 278 pounds to 324. These are the big kahunas, and let's run through all of our contestants out there right now. We have Chance Argyle with Sparky, Jadix Chandler with Skittles, Justin Webb with Bonnie, Carter Hoffman with Ziggy, Dominic Casillas with Petunia, Teddy Ball with Wilson, Maggie Neas with Curly Fry, Hannah Rex with, and possibly my favorite of the day, Sausage McGriddle, Jonah Alexander Neas with Fat Boy, Robert Webb with Clyde, and that is our 3rd class of pigs. So these are all of our wonderful contestants in front of us who have been putting in so much hard work, so many early mornings. I woke up at a little before 6 a.m. today, and it was a little tough getting out of bed. So to see these kids, but to know these kids do it day in and day out for the last couple months is truly admirable and remarkable.
You know, and a lot of these kids, they were here. I don't know if you noticed when you got here, but there was already a lot, probably several vehicles here, because these kids were here getting their animals ready to go. And, like some of our goat kids would have started that early, getting those goats washed and getting all prettied up for the show. So, yeah, early mornings. you know, last night
Another
was
just a really nice class of market hogs here. That I think that you're going to be pleased with the product that you end up with. Let's give them a round of applause. When they struggle in two of those areas that I talked about, either the quantity of product or maybe the quality or structure, if they kind of struggle in a couple of those, that is enough to move them into my red ribbon group. And I have a couple in here that are kind of that way, that genetically just don't have enough muscle, have laid on a little more condition than they really need. And so when you look at the amount of product that is going to be returned, they're not quite up there with the others, but these two are structurally really sound, and you can see that by the way that they move, and sometimes move just a little faster than what you'd like them to do. The narrower one of the two that we'll send out first is the young man here. These move into the red ribbon mainly because of the quantity of product that we have there. I think that the eating quality will be really good, but you may be just a little disappointed with the amount that you get there. There'll be a little left on the cutting room floor. Next one out's going to be the young man here with our black hog. Those two are, watch them from behind, they walk really narrow. You look down the top, the belly wall is going to be really wide and deep and long, and we like that. But there's going to be a lot of white in it. There's going to be a lot of fat, and those will kind of dry down so that they're not nearly as impressive when we finish up and put that on your breakfast plate. The next one out is going to be in my blue ribbon group, and I think comfortably so. It's a really nice kind of a gilt, one that maybe doesn't balance quite as well, it's a little bit tighter as she comes back into her flank. She's this big. She's carrying just barely enough condition. I'd like to see maybe just a little more on her size, but mainly on balance and overall look and quality of skeleton. We'll let the young man right here out next. Then I have one that is extremely well conditioned. I think that almost ideal for me, but given up quite a bit of product to the ones that we have left out here. Pig that you just like to stouten out, give a little more depth, a little more just volume all the way down through. Young man right here with our white gilt will be our next one out. And a really nice job in feeding this gilt. We just like to give her a natural genetic kind of muscling. Young man with the black gilt over here, another one that's a little bit tucked up with the flank, a little less belly and belly wall on there, and where we're really emphasizing that's a super important part of our hog carcass. Nicely presented, nicely conditioned, just a little bit less in those real high-priced kind of products, but a nice job presenting this gilt. The young man right against the fence there with the gilt that's kind of coloring up will be our next one out. A little bit shorter bodied kind of a hog. Really structurally sound, correct. Third dimensional muscle though, length of muscle maybe not quite where we'd like her to be, but a really nice job. She's hunting the gate, so we'll let her go out.
Hold it.
one that doesn't have the muscle expression and volume, a little bit shorter hipped kind of a hog, but really, really long-sided and deep-made and structurally sound. Just maybe not the overall power and dimension that we have. The young man right here with our white barrel will be our next one out. As I watched the show right from the very start, that young lady that's just going out, we're going to ask you to come back in, okay? So the three that presented to me immediately when they came in have done the nicest job of driving, have done the nicest job of staying where they needed to be, and I think also the three nicest hogs are the last three that we're going to let out. We're going to ask them to come back in both our showmanship and our quality grade. They'll be the representatives from this heavier weight class. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice job, guys. Thank you.
Those that have been invited to come back for the final drive in both market and showmanship, please get your lambs or your hogs watered down and bring them back to the ring.
And those three that are coming back for that final show for Showmanship and Market are Maggie Neas, Hannah Rex, and Teddy Ball. So congratulations to those three and to everyone else here today. A fantastic showing once again. It's hard to envision that each class tops the last one, but they're all just doing such a great job.
They really are doing an excellent job today. And, you know, I have to give a huge thanks to all of our help that are in the ring. You know, as this camera moves around, you see, you know, we have parents on the gate, parents in the ring helping. People just are here helping each other all the time. It's just a nonstop help. I know yesterday we watched, we had a lamb that escaped, and I think, Matthew, you're a little surprised that one of the other competitors reached down and caught that lamb.
Yep, it is such a tight-knit community.
It is.
And it's so great to see this, and like you talked about, everyone here is involved, and it's more than just the kids who are doing so much work, but from the parents, to friends, everyone's helping out.
Yeah, and it's really fun, and I appreciate all of those extra hands. You know, we're grateful that we have the Rich County Rodeo royalty that is here helping to pass out our ribbons and our buckles today for all of our winners. They are great to come and help with us too. You know, it's just been this is really weird that we're almost down to these last. We only got one more class after we finish with the hogs. It seems like it took forever to get here, and now it's almost gone.
Usually that's how good times go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our three classes combined here for Showmanship and Market, so don't go anywhere here at the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stotz Equipment, your John Deere dealership.
You don't want to choose between quality and quantity. And with John Deere 6M Series utility tractors, you don't have to. The powerful loader tractor with incredible visibility and maneuverability allows you to easily make your way through tight corrals, feed your herd, bale your hay, and mow in comfort. With 8 models ranging from 110 to 195 horsepower, the 6M is fully customizable, so you get everything you need and nothing you don't. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us, Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, located in Preston at 451 West 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call, 208-852-3660.
Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair, our livestock show here. I'm Matthew Peterson, broadcasting this across my local radio out of the rich area of Utah. And right now we are looking at our pen here, brought to you by Stotz Equipment out of Preston. And we'll run through all of our hogs here and their owners in the pen. We have a combination of our 3 classes. In the first class here, we have Emma Casillas with Hua, Jaslyn Chandler with Lollipop, Darcy Bradshaw with Engine, Sage Tingy with Sally, Faith Downing with Love. And that's our first class in the pen. And then we move into our second class, and that is comprised of Wyatt Tingy with Chunky, AJ Bell with Bacon Seed, Sage Bradshaw with Wilbur, Traxon Chandler with Mr. Double Bubble, Grace Tibbetts with Tocino, Chloe Neas with Sped. And that is our our second class of pigs. And last but not least, and we just saw them a few moments ago, it's our third class. It's the heaviest of the group. And we have Teddy Ball with Wilson, Maggie Neas with Curly Fry, and Hannah Rex with Sausage McGriddle. So the names clearly are a favorite part of mine so far. A lot of creativity being shown. And if you're going to be taking care of this animal day in and day out for months on end, you might as well have fun with what you call it.
Absolutely. It is always fun to see what these kids come up with for their animal names.
And our official here is Jim Jansen. We had him yesterday for the lambs and the steers, and he's moving at a much quicker pace than he did yesterday.
He is, and every judge does it a little different. I think he's going to talk to us again.
Yeah, it looks like he's ready to go on, and here he is, Jim Jansen.
Okay, I know that we have a lot of hogs out in the ring here, and it's starting to warm up just a little, and these hogs have already been through the ringer once or twice, so it's kind of falling into place for me here on Showmanship, so we're not going to spend a lot more time on that. And then we'll start sorting them off and sending them out kind of from the bottom up. We have some really quality showmen here. We have some quality hogs, but the showmanship is just really nice. They're nicely presented. They're nicely conditioned and fed out. Let's give them a round of applause. And again, we're doing this by band color. We'll have first and second in each of our color groups. And my outstanding showman here today is the one who Cook has probably won it just from the showing of the individual class, but she also came back in and really turned it on. Young lady right here will be my champion in the green group. A pretty close placing, and maybe the class itself sorted them a little more, but she's really come up and turned it on here. Young lady right here with the white hog will be my reserve champion showman. This is also one that we talked about in class just a little. She's a little bit lighter muscle, maybe not quite the overall volume and amount of muscle, but really nicely conditioned, nicely presented. We'll let that hog out first. This is one that we were just looking at her in the showmanship. She's done a super job presenting that field today. Nice job, young lady. Let's go. Yellow group showman, no matter where I went in the ring, could always find me. She's just done a super job with presenting. Maybe the pig could move just a little bit more, but she really did a nice job with watching me, making sure that I see everything on her pig. She's a super kind of a showman. Young lady right here. Okay, got her? All right. Then it got really close. I had a couple of others that maybe got a little bit far away once in a while. Don't send her out yet, guys. Hey, don't send her out yet. That's just in showmanship. Okay, thanks. We had a couple of others that really were competitive here, and I think. Maybe once in a while got a little bit farther away from me, maybe not quite watching me as much. I had three of them that all kind of fit into that category, and I had to spend maybe just a little more time sorting them out. At the end, the one that followed me the best as I moved around the ring and made sure that I saw their pig, the young lady here with our spotted barrel. We good? Okay. ones that were hard to sort out, or hardest for me to sort out, were our red armbands. And I switched this back and forth several times. I think at the end I stuck with the young lady here with our white spotted barrel. Just a really nice job all day. I'd like maybe to see the pig move just a little bit more. They look best at just kind of a slow walk. She always made sure that the pig was really well presented to me, but maybe I'd like to see just a little bit more movement away that made it tougher for me to sort and place. But she just does a super job with watching me, making sure that I see her pigs and that he's really well presented to me. Nice job, lady.
Why about one there?
Our other two, I think here at the end, just kind of sorted out this way. The one that's able to maintain just better control with the hog and the presentation. Young lady that's right in front of you. Okay. Now we're going to start sending them out. This will be your placing in the star class for your auction. And you can see that we have different types out here. That doesn't mean that they're not good pigs. We can have really quality animals from just about every type. And we have breeders that are emphasizing one thing or another. And we're just going to try and kind of reward them for their efforts to put these really, really nice made pigs together. Just sort them off, and hopefully you'll come and support their sale. We have a shorter body, a little bit shallower, a little bit narrower kind of a barrel over here. Has plenty of condition on him. A really nice belly ball too, but I'm afraid there'll be just a little more weight on him when you get that bacon cut out. And then he's rounding off there. We talked yesterday about all of our market animals. We'll put on condition front to back and top to bottom. He's starting to fill in there in the crotch just a little bit. He's carrying plenty, but the young man's done a super nice job presenting him. He's a real quality kind of a barrel. He'll be our first one out in our star class. For me, as I watch these hogs, the one that maybe has the least amount to offer as far as genetic muscling, the young lady that had a really nice presentation in class, and her pig kind of gave up on her. She'll be our, what are we, the 12? She'll be our 12th hog out over here with the black belt. Pretty nice job presenting that gilt in class. And the pig kind of gave up on her here towards the end, but a real long-strided, structurally sound kind of a gilt, just lacking some product to stay up here with some of our others. One that's a little bit rougher made, rougher topped, rougher there in that hip-loin junction, but a tremendous amount of muscle expression. Maybe the skeletal quality and structure is not quite what we'd like it to be, but you really have to admire the expression and the smoothness of condition. Young man here with our black belt gilt. I don't know what he did to teach her to stick her tongue out like that, but it's pretty impressive. We have a white gilt here that as you follow her around, just offers you a little less width, a little less total volume of muscle, especially down the top. And as you watch her walk from right to left, she walks just a little bit narrower, which generally is an indication of natural genetic muscling, and she just doesn't quite have the power that some of these that we have left out here have. We'll excuse this young man out next. Nicely conditioned, good structured kind of a gilt, just not quite that overall volume of product return. In ninth place, a pig that in its class was wearing just a little more condition and maybe not quite what I would like to see. And then as the class went on, just got better and better, and actually looks better now than she did in our initial quality class. We'll send her out in ninth place. Lady right here with one that, you know, I know that there's market for a lot of different sizes and a lot of different types here, but I think when you take the fixed costs in mind, we have two that maybe won't return quite what you would like them to return, just because our harvest costs and everything else are the same all the way through. The least pounds of product, and this may be just a indicator of quality of size. We'll let this young lady with our black barrel here out next. That's a really nice hog. Just like you see him, maybe just a little bigger to stay out here and compete with some of our others. Not a lot of size difference, but I think that he's going to just maybe be a little bit less impressive to you when you look at him compared to these others with the amount of product that you're going to get. Our next least amount of product is the gilt that we have over here with the little bit less ideal hookup here on her point junction. When you look at her right over the top, she's really impressive down that top, really expressive, but you'd maybe like to deepen that and widen that top just a little bit, maybe even thicken that belly wall a little if you could do it without adding more condition on her. Doesn't walk and handle her back end quite as well, and that's kind of expressed there in that hip loin junction, not quite hooking up as strong as some of these others, but this young lady's done an awfully nice job presenting her. One that's maybe carrying just a little more condition than the other five that are left out here, and the only problem with that, the eating quality on this barrel is going to be really good, but maybe that's going to be left on the harvest floor. He's not going to return quite the quantity of product, but I think that if you're looking for one just to eat, that would be a really high quality individual. And the young lady's done a nice job presenting it. We'll let that one out in sixth. Okay, in my mind's eye today, this is our final 5, and I think that although there are some differences in body type and style a little bit, they're all just really acceptable in the amount and quality of product that they're going to return. They're all structurally sound and acceptable. We have, as I said, there are some differences. Our white gilt here, a little bit leaner, but the really expressive kind of a gilt in here, I think that she has that 4/10 right there on the 9th, 10th rib. Should be the one that I would question just a little on if she's carrying enough, but I think that I'm relatively confident, at least today, that she's got it. We have our 2 spotted hogs that are very similar in muscle pattern, in structure. One of them just a little bit shorter, one of them a little longer body, but maybe not quite the width and depth, so you kind of take that into consideration. And a couple of really nice white hogs that just kind of put it all together for me as far as overall condition and structure and volume. We've got a real big top, kind of a white gilt here that strides out really well, nicely conditioned, nicely put together. Our spotted gilt over here, just a little bit longer body, maybe a little bit smaller frame kind of a gilt. But I think all 5 of these, even though we have some differences, are just really, really quality individuals for their body type. How about another round of applause for this group? Not only have they presented them well, but they have some extremely nice quality animals. Okay? So, here we go for all the marbles. The one that for me today puts everything together is the one that kind of likes to hide over in the corner and stay out of our way. She'll be our champion hog. Congratulations, young lady. A really close placing for me here on our top end. A hog that maybe has just a little more size, but maybe not the overall balance and look. Young lady right here is going to be our reserve champion. Congratulations. Then I'm going to go with my 2 spotted hogs. And this is the pair that I studied for a while longer. I don't know that it makes a whole lot of difference. Whichever one you prefer, that's the best hog today. And we have a little shorter bodied, but wider, deeper kind of a hog, a little longer bodied, but maybe not quite the width and depth. I think 3-dimensional muscle, when you weigh those out, they're going to be really, really similar in type. I'm going to go 3rd place with the little bit shorter, heavier made kind of a hog. 4th with the young lady over here with the longer, really nice strided, extremely well-conditioned hog. And then my 5th is going to be the one that's just a little bit tighter gutted and a little less condition on her. Maybe not quite the spring, the hook up there on that ham-loin junction, but all 5 just real quality kind of hogs. One more round of applause. Nice job, guys. This has been a really, really nice hog show.
And we just saw a fantastic showing of hogs once again. We got a lot of names to be calling out here. So our senior grand champion is Jaslyn Chandler for showmanship.
Showmanship, correct.
Yep, and then Chloe Nias will take the reserve champion for showmanship, and that's in our senior group. And then for showmanship as well, in the intermediate group, it's Sage Bradshaw, our grand champion. and then the reserve is Faith Downing. Now those two will flip-flop for our overall champion.
Correct.
Whereas, so Faith Downing, our overall champion, and Sage Bradshaw, our reserve overall champion.
Yes.
And then our junior champion is Darcy Bradshaw, and the reserve junior champion is Grace Tibbetts. Our third place overall champion is AJ Bell, and our fourth place is Grace Tibbetts, and our fifth place is Jaslyn Chandler. So a huge congratulations to everyone here today. Those who take home some medals, a lot of work paying off, and very happy for them.
You know, they really did a great job out here today. I was very impressed with the quality. You know, I think that our judge did a great job. You know, these hogs, when they start getting hot, they perform less. So I think that it's commendable that he was able to get these quality of animals in a good time frame, so that these animals are still, you know, we kept them cool, we kept them happy, and it's some really good results. So this has been a really good experience today. Yeah, I am really impressed with our quality of hogs today.
As am I. I'm going to run through all of our contestants here for the hogs
Okay.
one more time, and then we're going to have a guest on our show here. We have Ray Bradshaw.
Yes.
He'll be showing his animal at the 10 o'clock showing, his goat. So we'll have that in just a moment. But one last time here at the 2020 Rich County Fair for our hogs, let's run through the names. Jaden Bell, Bowen Watts, Bronk Downing, Hazer Hoffman, Hillary Rex, Chancey Bell, Tylee Tingy, Casey Wilson, Kyler Wilson, Eliza Ball, Haley Bell, Tiana Chandler, Robert Webb, Jonah Alexander Neas, Dominic Casillas, Carter Hoffman, Justin Webb, Jadix Chandler, Chance Argyle, Teddy Ball, Maggie Neas, Hannah Rex, Darcy Bradshaw, Grace Tibbetts, AJ Bell, Sage Bradshaw, Faith Downing, Jaslyn Chandler, Chloe Neas, Traxon Chandler, Sage Tingy, Emma Casillas, and last but not least, Wyatt Tingy. Huge congratulations to all of those participating today. And we're going to take a quick break here. But when we come back at the 2020 Rich County Fair, I'm going to be joined by Ray Bradshaw. He'll be showing his goat, Steve, at 10 a.m. So don't go anywhere here. All this brought to you by Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership in Preston.
You don't want to choose between quality and quantity. And with John Deere 6M Series utility tractors, you don't have to. The powerful loader tractor with incredible visibility and maneuverability allows you to easily make your way through tight corrals, feed your herd, bale your hay, and mow in comfort. With 8 models ranging from 110 to 195 horsepower, the 6M is fully customizable, so you get everything you need and nothing you don't. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us, Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, located in Preston at 451 West 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call, 208-852-3660.
Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stotz Equipment, and I am now joined by Ray Bradshaw. Ray, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, I'm very glad to join you.
Now, Ray, what has been the most exciting part for you about this county fair so far?
You don't want to choose.
Well, I'd say that it's been my goat. He's been pretty special, and well, it's been pretty exciting. All of it's been pretty amazing.
I bet. And you mentioned your goat, Steve. How long have you had him for?
Boy, we've had him since he was born. He's 7 months old, I believe.
7 months old. So you've been working with him every day since then. What has been some of the more challenging parts?
Boy, many challenging parts is, well, I'd say maybe working with him. He's been a bit hard to walk, but I've been able to make him walk better. and he can maul me pretty good.
Now, Ray, this is your 4th year in the program. How does Steve compare to some of the other animals you've had in the last couple of years?
Well, Steve, he's one of the biggest goats that I've had yet, and one of my other goats that I had, Sparky, who was in my 3rd year, he actually he was a pretty good goat, and with him I actually got grand champion in 2018. Yep.
And on here it says for your hobbies you love to ride bikes, reading, especially Harry Potter. Do you have a favorite Harry Potter book?
Yeah, I think it'd be probably The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Good choice.
Hmm.
And you're going into 7th grade, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
You believe so, I hope so. What are you looking forward to most going into 7th grade?
Well, I'm excited to make new memories and make new friends. It's going to be pretty exciting.
That's a great response, Ray. I love to hear that. So before we let you go here and we get you ready for your showmanship and to show Steve to all of us here, can you tell us what's been the most rewarding part of all this process?
Well, I think that the most rewarding part of this, I think it's after the sale when someone's bought your goat. You think about all the amazing things you did, and it's very good. And it's pretty amazing, and
I bet it is. And thank you so much for joining us, Ray, and best of luck to you today.
Thank you, sir.
That was Ray Bradshaw here at the 2020 Rich County Fair. He'll be showing us Steve at 10 a.m. He's in the first class of the goats. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little break here. We'll be back just before 10 a.m. at the 2020 Rich County Fair. Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stoughton Equipment. Happy to be here and happy to have you with us here on a beautiful Friday morning in Rich County, Utah. We have our goat showing coming up in just a few moments. We'll have 2 classes. You'll be able to hear the goats right now. They're in the pen. They're ready to join in. And here's what they're all competing for. It's the crown jewel here. It's the goat buckle, as we get a good camera shot of it right here. We just spoke to Ray Bradshaw. He'll be going into the 7th grade. You'll see him out in a few moments, and he was proudly wearing his 2018 championship buckle, the grand champion. So this is what it's all about, folks. This belt buckle right here, along with all the hard work and dedication paying off. We've got 11 competitors going into today. We'll have 5 in the first group, or the first class, I should say, and 6 in the second class. We're going to have a lot of great goats being showed off, and we're going to get to all that in just a few moments, as they are just a few minutes away from coming in here. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, it's the goats here at the 2020 Rich County Fair on mylocalradio.com, brought to you by Stoughton Equipment.
Stoughton Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, is your source for new and used equipment, parts, and service. The family-owned company was established in 1947 and still holds true to its founding values: quality, integrity, loyalty, caring, and community. From John Deere tractors and gators to mowers and handheld power tools, they have what you need to get the job done. Let them make your life easier. Stoughton Equipment is located in Preston at 451 West, 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call at 208-852-3660.
Welcome back to the 2020 Rich County Fair. I'm Matthew Peterson. Happy to have you along with us here this morning in Rich County for our goat showing, which will be underway in just a few minutes. Right now, our official Jim is just briefing all the competitors about what he's looking for. He's done that for each class, each animal so far today. I'd say he's been doing a fantastic job across the board here. I'm joined by Brandy Mills. Brandy, thank you so much for hopping alongside me again.
Yeah, excited to be here. Our last class of the fair this year with our market goats. It should be good. We have some really great goat exhibitors that are going to bring in some really great goats this year. So yeah, it's been a great fair to this point. The kids have done outstanding. They've represented well. They've brought in quality animals. They have done just an outstanding job all the way around. I am so proud of all of them. And we have a great livestock board that has helped to pull all this together, even with all of this craziness this year. And I want to can I give a quick shout out to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got to give a thanks to Ty Tingy and Justin Grohl, Marie Walmsley. I should have my list here. Kaylin Downing and Candy Cornea. Those are our superintendents and our junior livestock board, and they really have done a phenomenal job. I'm just extremely grateful to have their help. So Dallin and I both are.
A huge thank you to everyone, from top to bottom, for making such an incredible event like this possible. Obviously, all the kids for all the hard work they've done, the parents, and then all the staff who's doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work.
Yeah.
Big thank you. We're so happy to be here. This is our first time with My Local Radio at the fair, and I've got a strong feeling we'll be coming back each and every year.
I hope so. This has been a lot of fun. I made a lot of little unnerving on my end. Not exactly what I expected, but this has been a lot of fun. So I am so glad you're here. And again, I'm going to throw out that welcome. Welcome to Rich County.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be part of such a tight-knit community, and everyone's just been so friendly and welcoming. Let's run through the 11 competitors we are going to see today. We'll start with Darcy Bradshaw. This is the first class of goats. They're going to be ranging between 54 and 84 pounds. So we have Darcy Bradshaw. We've seen her already, so clearly she's been very busy the last couple of months maintaining multiple animals. Sage Bradshaw, we saw her in the last showing with the Hogs.
Correct.
Tylee Tingy.
Also a hog shower in the last show.
And Sage Tingy as well.
Yes.
And then Ray Bradshaw, who I had the pleasure of speaking with earlier between the two showing. So we really got the Bradshaws and the Tingies going at it.
We do, especially in that first class. That's interesting because it is those two families that are just right there. They'll all be neck and neck in Class 1 of our goats today.
And we move into Class 2. That's going to be ranging between 96 and 107 pounds. There are 6 in this class. We'll start with Carter Grohl. Carter, of course, the son of Justin Grohl, the head coach of the Rich Rebels, who will be getting underway next week, a week from today. You can listen to the broadcast on my local radio or on 98.3. And the Rebels will be traveling south down to Kanab. Exciting game. Looking forward to that. So Carter Grohl, and then we have Kate Nelson with Theo, Jaden Grohl with Chip, Tanner Nelson with Goofy, and
Carson Grohl
with Redneck.
That's the youngest Grohl kid.
Yeah, Carson, this is just his first year. He'll be a 9-year-old going into 4th grade.
Yeah.
And finally, we have
Newly Cornea. He's one of our older kids.
Yep, he's 17 years old, and he'll be going into his junior year of high school this fall over at Rich High.
You know, I have to say, you know, you're headed down to Kanab, and you know, I've had football players with Rich before, and I'm not gonna miss not having to drive down to Kanab. I'm glad that you're streaming it so that I can still watch the Rebels on my local radio and watch them and not have to drive down there because I have a kid competing this year.
And I love the job, and if the worst part of the job is sitting in a car for a couple hours, safe to say I don't work a day in my life then.
Have you been to Kanab?
No, this is my first time to Utah and Wyoming all together, so everything's a new experience.
It's quite a few more hours than a couple.
And
so bring good snacks.
Yes, and here we go with our first
All right.
class. Ray Bradshaw leading the charge with his goat Steve. And Jim Jansen, our official once again. And we're having some kind of delay. He's telling Ray, I think, what he wants the competitors to be doing with their goats. But here is Ray Bradshaw.
You know, Ray's actually, that is a tough position where he is because, you know, with these kids, especially like with your steers and your lambs and your goats, somebody always has to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those animals do not cooperate with you when they go first. So, you know, sometimes it creates a little bit of a challenge and they do not want to go. They're pretty good little followers. But they do not like to go first. So, you know, thank you, Ray, for stepping up and running into that ring first.
Ray, our 2018 champion, and we're seeing a lot more of a organized layout compared to the Hogs this morning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the Hogs was that was a show.
It was. It always looks like a little bit of chaos, and you know, again, hats off to our judge for you know doing an excellent show and really being on top of all of that.
We have Darcy Bradshaw as well. She's going to be going into the 4th grade this fall with Rocket. And Sage Bradshaw with Owen, 14-year-old going into her freshman year of high school, I beg your pardon. And then Tylee Tingy with Toast, and Sage Tingy with Butter. And that is our 5 competitors here in the first class.
You got to have a little butter with your toast.
I love that. You're right. I didn't even connect the dots.
These kids are doing a really good job of setting up those lambs so that the judge has a really nice view of them, squaring them out, making them just look nice and giving them an excellent view. We actually, this class of goats right here, these kids, look at them show. I mean, they are, I'd put these kids up against any other exhibitors in the state of Utah. Can I just tell you? I'm pretty proud of them.
I would be too. And what's really interesting is you look left to right, and they're in order of height almost.
Oh,
is that something our official Jim here is really going to take into account the size? Really?
You know what? As a market animal, that can come into play slightly. But you know, you can have a large animal that's overdone. And so, you know, it's kind of just again, you're looking for that optimal animal that's going to represent the industry at the very best. And where he's really, again, he's got his hands on them. He's doing some measuring. He's doing some filling. And that's where he's going to know what he thinks is going to be top of the market is is there. I mean, he's really got the size doesn't necessarily always, the big one isn't always your best. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and speaking of market, I noticed that the goats tend to go for more per pound than some of the other animals. Why is that?
You know what? That has been an interesting switch in the industry in the last little while. Market goats have actually come on really strong. And, you know, I would say, well, in a lot of fairs, they're not even showing market goats. This is kind of a new thing in some of the fairs. And so, but right now, for whatever reason, you know, the prices on a lot of other species has bottomed out, but those market goats soared. And if you're a goat owner, and you might just be sitting in the hot spot and in the pretty spot here for a little while. But okay, this is really kind of cool. So he's giving these kids really a chance to showcase their abilities, and with a class this size, he can really do that. That's really fun that he's going to ask each one of them so that he can really watch them and give them some special attention.
You know, I believe we have the Tingy sisters right now going first.
That's correct. Yep,
And-
Tylee went first. This is Sage.
And just I mean, I'm assuming the nerves and the pressure right now, eyes are on them, and this is what all the hard work has been building up to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, he's watching for the soundness of those goats as they travel, and you know, their leg structure. And this really is fun that we've got this size of a class so that he can do this and give them that. It's almost like a one-on-one lesson. So that's really fun.
Displaying her goat right now. This appears to be Darcy Bradshaw.
Yes, this is little Darcy. First year, little showman. She did both a goat and a hog this year. And I've watched this girl. She loves her animals.
Yeah, Darcy walking Rocket, and I must say, Rocket doing a fantastic job
Yeah.
of keeping with the pace.
You know what? I think that her and Rocket have gone on many walks like that. But this time she did it without looking at the ground. She's watching that judge, so she did a really great job.
And here comes Sage Bradshaw with her goat Owen.
Oh, and here comes Owen.
Owen is a little resistant at first, but now he's going to get a move on here at Sage's 6th year in 4-H.
He's wondering where his friends went. He thinks that she's taking him away from his friends.
Yeah.
So he's being a little bit resistant where his friends are. I bet once he figures out that he's going to go where one of his friends are, he's going to be, yep,
And
there he
you go.
goes.
You got a crystal ball here? I mean,
Yeah, well,
you do it long enough.
yeah, no, you know, they're just like my own children a little bit, you know. You send them off on their own, they're a little nervous. Coming back to the fold, they're like, oh, this is fun.
And last but not least, it's our former champion, Ray Bradshaw, and he went first to lead the corral, and now he's going to go last, so a tough spot to be in for Ray.
Yeah, but he's doing a great job.
Oh, he's doing a wonderful job right now with Steve. This is Ray's 4th year in the program. He'll be going into 7th grade this year. Had a chance to speak with Ray going into today's show, and I mean, he just talked about how wonderful this whole weekend
Yeah.
is. It's not just about this specific moment, but everything around it.
Absolutely. You know, these kids, that's absolutely right. You nailed it. It's not just about, you know, this weekend that getting the animals here, but it's just fair in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fair is just right. It's just so much fun. Oh, it looks like maybe
Here comes Jim Jansen,
Yeah.
our judge, and it looks like he's ready to make a ruling. We'll listen in.
A couple of classes of market goats and some real quality animals all the way down through. We have a goat here on my right that is extremely attractive from the side, just really a nice profiling, up-headed, structurally sound kind of goat. A goat that has a surprisingly big leg that's standing in second there, just really a massive muscle kind of a hind quarter to it. A couple of smaller made kind of goats that are probably a little younger, but really nicely structured and stout, plenty of capacity and bone. A goat that's a little bit bigger, real heavy muscle kind of a goat. So there's some differences in types and body pattern, but what the other half of what we're doing, we're judging showmanship. And so those of you that are new in our stands here and haven't watched the other shows, the color of ribbon that they're wearing on their shoulder indicates what age group they are. So we have 2 seniors, we have a junior and 2 intermediates, and we're going to, at the end of the show, pick our champion and reserve showman and our champion and reserve goats, and then place them down through. So this class creates kind of a problem for me. We have 5 goats that are kind of different in their pattern and style and look, but they're all real quality goats. The problem is all of our exhibitors are extremely good showmen, and we want to watch them in the finale for our overall showman. So I'm not going to place this class. I've watched it for showmanship, and we're going to bring all 5 of you back in, and we're going to sort out, when we get all of our goats in here, our top showman and our top goats, because everyone in here could easily fit into one or the other, either our top showman or our top goats. Since I'm going to bring all of you back in anyway, I'm not going to place the class at this time, okay? You're doing a super job showing them. Congratulations. Keep up the intensity. Keep up the good work. You're doing just exactly what you ought to be doing. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice job, guys. Thank you.
You heard our judge, Jim Jansen, talk about he's not going to place anyone at this moment because of how tough the field is, I assume. He's going to let this first class leave, and then he'll bring in the second class, and then he'll start giving out some awards.
I think that's awesome. Judge's prerogative right there, you know. They're in charge, and I'm super excited. That is kind of fun. You know, that's one of the things with our little show up here is, you know, we've got a small enough classes that he can do this, and there's room in the ring for him. So that's gonna be kind of fun to see all of our entire goat show at the same time when they come back. So we'll see if the same thing happens with this class. And we've got some very good competitors here too. This is fun.
If you're just joining us, we appreciate you making us a part of your Friday morning here at the 2020 Rich County Fair, brought to you by Stoats Equipment. And now what you're seeing is the second class of goats. We have 6 contestants, the poundage ranging between 96 and 107. And we have Carter Grohl with Hillbilly, Cade Nelson with Theo, Jaden Grohl with Chip, Tanner Nelson with Goofy, Carson Grohl with Redneck, and Newly Cornea, I beg your pardon, with Jokia, I believe. Joaquin. The handwriting is ranging on each of these cards here. It's been a fun challenge going into each one of these little bio sheets I have in the wide variety of handwriting. But regardless, we have our 6 contestants now in front of you, and our official Jim Jansen will inspect each goat. And after this, we'll get some sort of champion between the 2 classes.
These kids all look really good, and I'm super excited about how they are showing their goats today. And you can tell that they're watching so close. They're doing a great job setting up their goats. You know, I do have a little, advantage over you with the names. First of all, I know the kids. That helps. And second, most of them, when the kids bring me their cards, and so I have a chance to, what do you call him again? So yeah, I have a little bit of an advantage for you.
This is a bit of an older group than we've seen so far over the past 2 days. It's also the first all-male group.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
All one gender.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look at that.
We got a bit of a boys' club going on with their goats at the moment, and
Yeah.
here is our official, and he's going goat by goat. And similar to what we've seen the rest of the day, he's looking at, and what he's talked about, is the 3 quantitative measures of muscle. He wants to look at
Correct.
the width, the height, and the depth.
Correct.
And that's what he's feeling out here from each goat.
That is correct. And he really has done a great job with our whole overall junior livestock show this weekend. It'll be really fun to see how he places this.
And while he looks at the goats right now, can you tell us a little bit about the plans for tomorrow so people know
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
when to tune in and what to expect?
You bet, absolutely. So, we welcome everyone to tune in here. You guys are going to be with us tomorrow.
Yes.
For our junior livestock auction, our sale, and sale day is always an exciting day. We are going to offer a couple of new things this year because we have the ability with you guys being with us. We're going to allow people to call in if they would like to place their bids over the phone. If they would like to be set up with a proxy buyer, if they call our office, I can match them with a proxy buyer if they are not able to be here in person. So that's kind of a nice option for our buyers for tomorrow. Our buyers that are registering in person, the registration begins at 10 o'clock here by the livestock ring. And then we will start at 11 with our Cloverbud Parade, which is going to be any youth that we have that are under 8 and 3rd grade, and they will have a chance to show animals. Some of them have been helping their siblings raise maybe an alternate animal, and others have just been there helping their siblings, so they'll probably show one of their siblings' animals. But I think we'll see a lot of fun things with our Cloverbud Parade. That'll take just a few moments, and then we will go right into the auction starting at 11:30. And our auction is always a lot of fun. Gio Peart is our auctioneer, and we have Wally Schultes as his sidekick, and they do an amazing job. Those two, we never know what's going to come out of their mouths though.
So mark it on your calendar, 11 a.m. tomorrow, the Clover Parade.
Right. Yep.
And then 11:30 is when the bills start flying around and
That's
goats start
right.
changing hands.
That's exactly right. Sale time starts at 11:30, and if you're interested in watching whether or not how our sale will happen, depending on the number of animals that we've had. Some years our grand champions and reserves will sell first, and other times we bump them a little bit further back into the show. So that's a decision for the board to make once we finish all of our market classes today.
And if you didn't hear it earlier, you can place your bets over the phone. So if you want to stay at home, sit on your couch and watch on mylocalradio.com, you absolutely can and still be a part of the action. And we really want to thank our sponsor, Stoats Equipment in Preston, for making all this possible. This has been a fantastic 2 days so far.
Yes.
And I look forward to ending it on a great note tomorrow.
Yes, and we really are appreciative of Stoats. They've always been a great supporter of our auction and our kids. And, this is a huge commitment for them, so we are extremely grateful that they were willing to do this for us and help us with you guys. So grateful.
Absolutely. And while our official Jim here looks at each goat, can you tell me a little bit about, because this is the last animal we will see for the entire ring. So tell me about the goat process of what the routine is like for these kids.
Okay, so, similar process what some of these other animals that we've talked about. So these kids are getting their animals somewhere between April and May. And
so a little shorter than some of the other ones we've seen compared to like a steer.
Correct. Shorter than the steer. And we actually, here in the county, we actually have, some amazing goat programs. And these kids they're not just going and buying these goats. They're breeding them themselves. They have their own breeding stock. So these kids have created the genetics here on these goats. So that is really kind of a fun little mix-up that we have. um, they, a lot of feed. A lot of feed time. They're going to start feeding them in the morning, and then some of them choose to walk their goats in the morning. Some of them do it later in the evening. Some of these goats are going to be on 2-a-day feeds. So a lot of time commitment. I mean, these kids don't just run on really long vacations because they got to take care of their animals. So
they do, and we talk about taking care, and some of the unsung heroes are the parents, and we really want to extend a huge appreciation and a big thank you to all the parents of all these competitors. It truly would not be possible without you, so thank you so much for permitting this and being a huge helping hand.
So the other thing, Matthew, is here in our office, there in the extension office, we have Dallin Smith, who's our extension agent, and I work as a staff assistant. Shauna Grohl is our 4-H coordinator, and we have Taylor Tingy back this summer helping us with the fair as an intern. And this could not happen without everyone working together. There have been so many long hours, and I am so grateful for all of the help that we've had to get this pulled off. So I just give a huge, high five and thank you to the folks that I get to work with.
While our official here looks at the second class, our first class is waiting patiently on the side. I can only imagine the nerves right now going through them as they just watch time slowly tick by until they get another opportunity to step back into the pen and showcase all their hard work.
Yeah, they. This is like you said a little bit ago. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll see if he sends any of these guys out or if he keeps all of them in, and then he's going to bring the entire first class back. So again, I've said this before, but our quality of exhibitors and animals up here is bar none. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job. I'm just so proud of them. I really am.
The quality is second to none, and you can tell because of how hard of a decision our official has each and every single time he looks at an animal. And it looks like he's about to start speaking now. Here we go.
Goats, the heavier weight goats. One of the problems we run into in the show goat industry is we really don't have a set market and set parameters. What's the correct size? Well, it depends on which size you want. And if you're looking for one that a smaller gathering would consume in one sitting, then you want a little smaller one. If you want some that maybe you could cut up into different primals or roasts or something, you want a larger one. And depending on the buyer, the size gets rewarded accordingly. So sometimes our smaller goats are worth more money, sometimes our bigger goats, as long as the quality is good. And you can look out there and see that the quality is not only good, it's exceptional in this class. We have 3 seniors, a couple of intermediates, and a junior showman. And all of them fit either into one of the top 2 goats or one of the top 2 showmen in the class. And so, again, in this class, we're going to put off the inevitable here, and we'll ask all 6 of them to stay in, and we'll bring the others in and place them. That will give them a chance to not only show against the ones that they're showing here, but also the other group. Just the way it worked out class-wise, we have a real even split on the classes come in by weight, but it just so happens that we have a real even split on our age of showman. And so without spending a lot more time, we'll bring them all in and sort them for both the quality and showmanship skills. But I really think that I hope that everyone in the audience can see the quality of animal and quality of showman that we have out here. And I think that they need to be rewarded for that. Let's give them a big round of applause. Nice job, guys.
And Our judge Jim right now is going to bring the first class back out, and he's giving some instructions, as you might be able to hear, to the first class. So he said it best. The quality is unparalleled, and it's making his life very difficult, which is always what you want to have when you're judging a livestock.
Yeah, absolutely. And these final instructions, bringing these 5 exhibitors from the previous show back in. This is a lot of fun. Here's our entire goat show. Here they are, all lined up. Gosh, I'm proud of these kids. They really are. They look amazing. And our kids that were in the last class, they're holding strong, with no reprieve, just going straight into the final drive. So this is fun. Good job to all of these kids.
Is it common for goats to be more on the calm side compared to the rest of the animals we have seen today?
You know,
And yesterday as well?
You know, I've never showed a goat, but and I think that they can get pretty excitable, and I know that they have the ability to, if they want to jump over the top of you, watch out, because they're going to do it. But weight-wise, you know, these kids have a little bit more control, because of their weights. Obviously, you have just a lot more control than what you do, obviously, with a steer. But gosh, they look good.
Right now, our official doing one, well, maybe not one last, but another round of looks. And while he does, we'll tell you about the 11 competitors in here. We have Darcy Bradshaw with Rocket, Sage Bradshaw with Owen, Tylee Tingey with Toast, Sage Tingey with Butter, and Ray Bradshaw with Steve. And that's the first class of goats here. So Bradshaws and Tingeys. And in the second class, we have Carter Grohl with Hillbilly, Cade Nelson with Theo, Jaden Grohl with Chip, and if I do say so, Jaden has some of the most remarkable handwriting I've seen so far today. Just exquisite.
Wow, and he did that himself. Good job, Jaden.
And Tanner Nelson with Goofy, Carson Grohl with Redneck, and
Newly
what's her nickname?
Newly, we call him Newells.
We call him, okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Joaquin.
And Joaquin. Yes, Joaquin. He's kind of and he's a big boy. That goat topped our show today with he weighed in at 107.
107. This is his 9th year here in 4-H. He'll be going to his junior year of high school. He's 17, and I have to assume that at 18 you cap out of being able to compete in this?
Yeah, that is correct. After your senior year and 18, then you are correct. That is correct. So as our kids are seniors, they show that following summer, and then they are done. And you know, up here in Rich County, we are an exclusive 4-H show. We don't have any FFA competitors up here, and so I get to work with every single one of these kids, and they really do a great job. You know, I've got a group of teens right now that are working towards, they're working with the Little Teen Council, and they have really shown their leadership skills. And we have planned what they're calling a rich youth conference. They're gonna put on an activity day for kids in the 3rd through 5th grade, and these teens have planned it. They're doing workshops, games, activities, all of it. So working with these kids in the 4-H program is such a highlight.
We're starting to have groups formed here. We're never quite sure when he sends people to another side of the pen if that's, you know, relatively good or bad.
Correct. He's got something in mind, but yet to be seen which direction that's going to go.
And he's making some announcements now. Okay, so you just ordered for these 3 ladies in front of us to do one more lap around.
Yep, and then he's going to bring in these gentlemen behind. And then that second row that he has is going to follow. He's doing another trip around the ring.
And something to keep your eye on is when these competitors are walking their goats, look at where their heads are at. They are trying to keep as much eye contact with the judge as much as possible just trying to give the best impression of
Yeah.
their work.
Yeah, and remember, these kids are competing for both showmanship and market. So, you know, you've got a couple of different showing styles that they're trying to combine. A little bit of a challenge, but these kids are doing an excellent job at doing it. Showmanship, you know, the judge is really looking, you know, he's watching those kids and how they're presenting that animal. Market, you want to show that animal the very best of your ability so that he's looking for the, you know, the quality of the animal. So I look at that. They have, you just look all the way down that, and these kids are, they are doing amazing. Look at these goats. They are all out there and lined from head to tail. So that's an awesome picture.
Right now, it looks more like a statue competition.
Yeah.
For how still these kids are keeping their animals,
Yeah.
by and large.
Yeah, they are doing a great job. Okay, he's got another thought here. Here we go.
Yep.
Again, we don't know exactly.
No, and that's part of the fun, really, is we have no idea, neither do the competitors either,
No.
if right now they're getting put maybe the winner's kind of bracket or
Exactly.
side or not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he may pull out some of his favorites. I just from the way that he has done things before, I think I'm gonna guess. I think he's working with his showmanship right now, and we're gonna find out our showmanship winners here in a second, and then he'll move on to the market. That's kind of what he's been doing with most of the other species, but you know, don't take my word for it, because again, judge's prerogative.
He is in complete control here. We're just standing by waiting his orders.
Yeah.
Nearly had a loose goat.
Almost.
That would be only the second animal to
Yeah.
get some freedom in
Yeah.
a way.
Almost.
We had a lamb in the first day break free, but was quickly captured by another competitor.
Yeah. Yeah. Good thing he's got quick hands. Again, these kids are keeping that goat between them and the judge so that he has every opportunity to view that animal at every turn. And if you'll notice, Matthew, even the kids that he may be looking at the animal that he's bringing forward, but these kids that maybe he isn't looking at immediately, they still are watching that judge, because at any moment, if he glances up, they want to be prepared and ready to make sure that he has that best view.
If you thought picking where to go for dinner was difficult, this is a whole nother level, because just when you think he's got an idea, it looks like he has to start over.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'll take this all day long. If the judges have a hard time choosing it, that means that we're just doing an outstanding job.
Yep, and it's really rewarding for everyone in the pen right now to know that they got the best look.
Absolutely.
That it wasn't just 30 seconds, oh, I didn't like that, moving on.
Exactly. And, you know, he was quick with the hogs today, but, you know, I felt like things went really well with the hogs, and that those hogs were, you know, he was able to get a good view, and he knew exactly what he wanted to see for today's show, and he was able to make his decisions quickly. And sometimes they can do that. Sometimes, you know, they know exactly what they're looking for, and that decision can be made very quickly. But okay, I thought maybe I had it figured out where he was going with this.
No.
I am so confused now.
It is a roller coaster right now. We don't know where it's going to end. And you talk about him being quick with the hogs. He didn't give it much time, but once he spent a lot of time elaborating.
Yes.
And kind of just thinking on the spot. And as he would speak, he would look and see what was going on.
Yeah, and I appreciate that with a judge that you know, you're not second guessing what's going on in his head. He's sharing it. He's telling us. Because sometimes that's kind of hard for these kids, honestly. Each year we have a different judge, and each judge is looking for a little bit of something different. They're all going for the same optimal animal, but and top exhibit of that animal, but each judge looks for certain qualities a little bit different, and the market may change a little bit from year to year. And so if you have a judge that stays up on some of those trends, he might be changing that just a little bit. And so that can be a little bit tough for some of these kids. They may not know what he's looking for. So, they don't know, did I raise this animal right so that I have exactly what the judge is looking for? And these kids don't know who the judge is, prior. So they don't, when they're picking their genetics and picking their breeding, they don't know who the judge is, so they don't know exactly what he's looking for. So sometimes things work out really well, and sometimes maybe not as well, but it's just kind of the name of the game.
Can you tell me about the process of selecting a judge for each year?
So we have a list that we have. We take suggestions if somebody has had experience with a previous judge or knows other people. We check with. We utilize judges from all over. We've had judges from Idaho. We've had judges from Utah, Wyoming, even some from Colorado. So in the industry, you can get a lot of information just by talking even to other fairs if they had a really good experience with a great judge. So it's a little bit of a search every year, and I'll tell you what, I've seen Jim judge before, and I've always thought that he is a great judge, and with the situation this year, with COVID and trying to figure out how we were going to be able to still hold our fair, and if we were going to be able to, when I called and presented the idea of what would you think if we combined our market and our showmanship, I know that some judges would have probably just passed out on the spot. The thought of having to do both at the same time, and he didn't even hesitate. He says, absolutely. We can make this happen. Let's let these kids show to the very best of their ability.
That's been a theme this whole year of being able to adapt.
Yes.
So we will be speaking with him after our show here. We'll get some insight on what he looks for and just kind of the X's and O's behind his thought process.
I like that. And you're gonna walk away with a whole lot more knowledge. Matthew, you came into this with not knowing a lot about the livestock industry, and you are going to walk away with so much knowledge this weekend.
And I've had such a great time learning as we go along.
Right.
It's been school basically all day long, but outdoors.
Which is a lot of fun. But, I don't know if you guys are, I think yesterday you guys were able to go to the steak fry. Is that?
Oh, wow. I mean, first off, I just want to tip my cap to whoever was manning the grill, because I had a delicious steak.
Excellent.
Potatoes were great, everything.
It really was.
Fantastic. Oh, looks like we're about to get a ruling now.
Okay.
Interesting class here today, both in showmanship skills as well as quality. Let's give them a round of applause. This is a really, really good goat show for only having 11 goats. Easily blue ribbon kind of animals all the way down through.
Can you not hear?
I get the opportunity to judge a lot of shows and a lot of goat shows, and there's of the 11 here, there's several, probably well over half, that could win most of the shows that I have judged. They have fed them extremely well. The condition on them is just about as good as you could make it. So I was telling the showman before the show, on a goat, our highest price cut is the whole carcass. That's the way they generally sell them. They don't break them down. And so you have to look at the whole offering there, the whole carcass, and then look at skeletal and muscular structure, foot and bone work. You can see we have some real differences here. We have some showmen that just kept working their way towards the top. I never saw any real mistakes. The difference in my senior showman the one that I'm going to use in first, as they came in the ring, was watching and presenting their goat. The one that's in second, and there's virtually no difference in their showmanship skills. Once they got into the ring, they always had the feet and legs exactly where they should have been. They were in line. They had their head propped up. They would fix the feet and legs immediately when they moved. And both of them just extremely sharp. And when they first came in, I thought, well, there's something really minor right there. We'll see how it turns out. And that's how it turned out, because from then on, there was virtually no difference. So my first place senior showman, going to be the young lady right here. Oh, there you are. Really did a nice job and was presenting when she came in. And that was basically the only difference between her and my second place showman, which is going to be the young lady right here. Took her just a little while into the ring before she really started, and that's really all the difference. Both of them just extremely high quality, good showmen that presented their animals really well, that just showed them to me the whole time and had them looking as good as they can. Young lady here that won our showmanship, her goat has a tendency to be a little bit cow-hawk, just hawks in a little bit. She's fixed that every time that she stopped and set him up, and I really appreciate her knowing that that's what he needed. But both of them just really good with the feet and legs, their placement in line, and presenting to me the whole time. It was pretty close between them and our other seniors for a while, and then they kind of pulled away here towards the end. Our other seniors maybe need to watch the feet and legs just a little bit better, but take consolation in the fact that you got beat by two who didn't do anything wrong today. Really a nice job. Congratulations, guys. Our intermediate showmanship was really a whole lot closer, and we had one who, for me, just really came to the top, who really didn't make any mistakes, presented the whole time, did everything right. And we had three who kind of would stray in line and get a little bit crooked, or not watching me all the time, or some things that were a little minor and some things that were a little bit more major in their presentation. And that was the reason that I moved them around just a little more, was to sort out those three. My champion in the intermediate age group is going to be the young lady right here in front of me. Okay, nice job, young lady. The three young men here maybe worked just a little more on staying straight in line and watching the feet and legs on your goat. And that was kind of a virtual tie all the way through. The one that did the nicest job leading and presenting as they led is the one that I'm going to use in reserve, and that's basically the only difference between the three that we had. The young man here in the black cowboy hat is going to be our reserve champion in the juniors. Or in the intermediates. Our juniors, we have a real showman here, and she does just a super job. Congratulations, young lady, you're going to be our first place showman. Look out, seniors. Of course, you'll be graduated and gone, because I know you turned 18, right? Yeah, you will be graduated and gone, but guys that are a little bit older, watch out. You're going to have to get really, really good to stay ahead of her. And then again, we had others who kind of fit into that mold, did a nice job. Maybe watch the feet and legs just a little more and keep everything set just a little more. Young man here with the straw hat will be our second place in the junior showmanship. You guys do a nice job. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. Whoever is training you in your showmanship skills, they're doing a good job. Okay, so we talked about our goats being kind of here and there size-wise, and that the carcass is the most important part. The one that is the most balanced, that has the look, has the skeletal structure and the quality. And then when I handled them, surprisingly to me at least, because it's just a little bit shallower make kind of a weather as far as depth of side and maybe spring of rib, the one that's the heaviest muscled of the whole bunch is going to be my champion right over here on the left. Congratulations, gentlemen. That's an awfully nice goat. Pretty big top, extremely nicely conditioned, just as smooth as you can make it all the way back. The goat that I'm going to use for reserve, I thought was the muscle goat in the class. You look at him from behind, he has a big old flare to his hip and his leg coming down into the stifle there. Stands really wide, a big wide skeleton. And when I put my hands on him, he wasn't as wide or as deep, and lacks quite a bit of leg. So the lamb, or the goat over here, the wether over here, handles a whole lot bigger than he looks. This one maybe handles a little smaller. Both of them really nicely conditioned. I prefer the little less and a little more even condition on my champion, but those two are just awfully nice goats. We come down to one that's giving up some power, and not just because of size. I know he's a smaller goat, but if he were the same size as these two, he just wouldn't quite have the overall volume of muscle that they have. We really appreciate his skeletal structure and the design in his muscle. It's wide, it's expressive, just not quite the power that we have, not just because of size. Then a really powerful goat that maybe it is because of size. This goat, I think, if he were bigger, for me, could compete up there. I said that there's no real size, just depending on your buyer. If I'm the buyer, I'm going to prefer a goat that's just a little bigger, but that's a really, really powerful kind of a wether. Really well designed, really nice structure on him, just an awfully nice kind of a wether to stand in for. My surprise is the one here that I talked about was just a little bit cowhawk, maybe structurally is not quite what he needs to be, but extremely well conditioned, just as smooth as you can make him back there. And then the real surprise was he's the biggest legged in the whole class. He's given up some top muscle on that longissimus dorsi as it comes back, both sides of the spine, but really, really big legged. Maybe make him structurally just a little nicer, especially on the feet and legs, and we could move him up. Then a really attractive, big ribbed, shorter body kind of a goat. Not there because of size, but because of just a little bit shorter kind of a body. Real powerful forearm on that goat, just like to lengthen that spine out. Then a really attractive goat from the side, one that disappointed me when I handled the leg. I thought that was going to be more than adequate. And he's a little bit lighter muscle than the ones up above. A real wide top, but not necessarily deep top, kind of a red belted wether here. Really well conditioned and nicely presented, just giving up some overall power to what we have above. One that, as it walks, doesn't move quite as well. I looked at that goat and thought, boy, there's going to be some power there. When I handled it, there's a lot more condition than there is power. He's carrying plenty of condition. I know that there's going to be some left there on that floor when they harvest this goat, but he's still going to be a really, really high quality product kind of a goat. One with a little less product in our red-headed wether here that looks maybe just a little more staggy than the ones above. That could be a factor of a lot of different things, cut a little later, or maybe just a little more that type of goat. He's given up some muscle, and then overall balance. He's a little bit wider fronted. He's a little bit less attractive from the side than the ones above, but still a really acceptable product. Our lightest muscle goat down here is by no means light muscle. But in this class, he's just giving up muscle to all of those. Young lady does an awfully nice job presenting and showing him, but he's just giving up some return on your dollar spent to the ones above. Let's give him one more big round of applause. I hope you appreciate just how simple that class is. That's just a great class, a tough class. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Jim. You've done an awesome job in all our classes. We appreciate him coming up from Utah County.
So we've got a really good class of goats here that that Jim has placed for us. So one of the things that we'll talk a lot about these goats here in just a second, but so one of the things that we want to tell you to just hang on for a minute, don't leave until real quick, because we are going to have a sneak peek at a show later this afternoon here at the show at the fair. We're going to have a special magician,
Ooh.
and he's gonna give us a little sneak peek here in just a minute. But yeah, so our grand champion. Let's maybe talk about first. You want to do our showmanship champions and go through their names?
Yeah, let's start the showmanship.
Okay, so we're going to start with our grand senior, who was Sage Tingy.
Congratulations to Sage and everyone else is along with her. And the reserve was Tylee Tingy.
Yeah. Our grand intermediate showman is Sage Bradshaw. So good job with Sage. And then our we got they have our magician. He actually is doing a little sneak peek. Should we jump in with him for a second?
Yeah, why not?
He's in the crowd.
Okay, so can we actually get the camera on the magician right now? Is that possible, or use the main camera up top?
Oh. Okay. Do we need to get him a mic, or can we hear him?
I think we can hear him. We can turn this up.
Okay.
How many dots are on this board? 2, right? But over here there are 4, right? And over on this side now there's 1. You see with me? And over here on this side, let me just make sure. Over here back here, how many? 6. That's right. Over here it looks like 3. It looks like 4. It looks like 1. It looks like 6.
So I was like,
but this is what happens, Carson. I cheat. I put my hand over there so it looks like 6, but it's really 5, right? You caught on. Just like that. Put my hand over there, it looks like there's 4, but if I lift my hand, it looks like there's, right, you see the 5. In the same way over here, it looks like there's 3. If I snap my fingers just like that and lift my hand, now there are 3. See over here, just a moment ago, it looked like there were 6, but there aren't 6. We all follow along. We know exactly how many are there. You know how you do something like that, everywhere you go, you carry a whole lot of spots with you. That's right. So I'll be doing some silly magic and some fun stuff. If you want to tell people, I'm the magician of Disneyland right now. Right before Disneyland closed, I was performing up at Disneyland. And
We're going to try and get our official Jim here
Yeah.
to sit down with us just for a few moments. And as you get a sneak peek at our magician here, who will be with us for how long?
He'll be here this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
So definitely come stop by and check out what he can fool you with, essentially.
I don't have this fair schedule here in front of me to tell you what his name is. We can get that, but we've got one more class as soon as they get done with their pictures here with the judge. We have one more class. It's not. It's a breeding class show. So we're going to have one class of does that are part of a breeding class. So we'll have a quick little show with that, and then and then we can grab Jim and do some talking. Maybe we can finish going through all of our winners.
Yep, absolutely.
While we're waiting on that. So yeah.
And before we get to our winners, I just want to run through all the contestants one more time from this last class. We had 11 of the 11 contestants for the goats, and those were, with the first class, Darcy Bradshaw with Rocket. Congratulations to Darcy. Sage Bradshaw with Owen. Congratulations to Sage. Tylee Tingy with Toast, and Sage Tingy with Butter. Butter and Toast, Toast and Butter. Congratulations to both of them. And then Ray Bradshaw with Steve. So that was our first class. A huge congratulations, and from home, a round of applause to them. And then our second class was comprised of Nully Cornea. Newly Cornea. Cornea with Joaquin, I beg your pardon. And then we had Carter Grohl with Hillbilly. Cade Nelson with Theo. Jaden Grohl with Chip. And Tanner Nelson with Goofy, along with Carson Grohl with Redneck. And right now on your screen, you're seeing our official Jim Jansen explaining what he's looking for, as he's done for every other group in this last class, which is a class of does.
Yep. So it will be market goats with the breeding class of does. So yeah, I don't think we got through all of our winners. So our grand showman with the goats was Sage Tingy, and our reserve was Tylee Tingy. We have our grand intermediate showman was Sage Bradshaw, and our reserve intermediate showman was Carter Grohl. Our grand junior showman was Darcy Bradshaw. And did you catch what he told the kids?
No, I did not.
When he said, watch out. He says, this girl, he says, you seniors will be gone by the time she gets a little bit older. He says, but she is a competitor that you need to watch out for. So, and this is her first year. So high praise from the judge for a first-time showman. So that's exciting. Our reserve junior was Carson Grohl, so excellent job. And then our market show, we ended up with Tanner Nelson with our grand champion goat, and Cade Nelson with our reserve champion goat. So Nelson brothers took the show.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here at the 2020 Rich County Fair. We appreciate you adding us to your agenda today, and making all this possible was Stoats Equipment. They're your local John Deere dealership out of Preston. So be sure to stop by Stoats and get all of your John Deere and other products needs. Once again, we'll be right back here at the 2020 Rich County Fair.
You don't want to choose between quality and quantity. And with John Deere 6M Series utility tractors, you don't have to. The powerful loader tractor with incredible visibility and maneuverability allows you to easily make your way through tight corrals, feed your herd, bale your hay, and mow in comfort. With 8 models ranging from 110 to 195 horsepower, the 6M is fully customizable, so you get everything you need and nothing you don't. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us, Stoats Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, located in Preston at 451 West 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call, 208-852-3660.
Welcome back here to the Rich County Fair. I'm Matthew Peterson, alongside me Brandy Mills. Brandy, once again, thank you for all of your help over the past 2 days. I really appreciate it. You've been a rock-solid right-hand man, and could not have done this without you.
You know, we've got our breeding class of does coming in, but we might have picked up a little bit in the background with the camera. We had all of our Rich County rodeo royalty getting a picture with the magician that's going to be here this afternoon. Paul Weston Draper has ties to Rich County, if you can believe it. And so his grandmother back in 1938 was the Rich Rodeo queen. And so he got a picture in memory of his grandma, Grace Ruth Weston, and so that was kind of fun for him. She was born in Meadowville. Kind of fun to have him here. These breeding does that we have in here, that is a nice class of does, all the way across. Now, when he's judging a breeding class, he's looking at things just a little bit different. Because he wants to look at what is the capability of this doe, or in this case this female, for producing more kids. And so he's looking at things just a little bit different. If you'll notice, he looked at their teeth and a couple of different things. He's looking at few different things. He's still looking at the market qualities, because you want to have an overall view of, you want them to be throwing kids that meet those market qualities, but there's just a few different things, but this is really fun. These kids that are showing these does have raised them. These are their does that they chose, that they have raised themselves, and that they are showing today some of the kids that these does have had.
So these are not the same animals they brought out in their last class, or they are?
They are. Well, let's see what we got here.
Are these the same goats we saw a few minutes ago?
Yeah, actually, it looks like that they do have some of those same goats. I may be mistaken. I thought they were bringing some from home, but Jim's got some thoughts here that he's going to share with us.
Will he crown a champion?
Yes. Oh, do you know what? Actually, these are not the ones that you saw earlier. You saw these kids as wethers, but these are not the ones they saw.
We appreciate these three showmen. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice job, guys. Those are awfully nice goats. So the one that's up to my right here is the most ideal structured of the three. She has a little more shape to her rib. She's a little cleaner in the front end and coming up into the neck. She's also the heaviest muscle. Maybe not as much bone as the one that I have standing in second, but a little more muscle there. And then something that's really rare in the Bordeaux breed, her other structure is really, really nice. She has two teats that come down that are spaced well and not going to have problems when you kid these out with confused kids. The other two both have the typical or more typical kind of Bordeaux 4-teat structure with 2 big major ones and 2 small ones. And when we were kidding ours out, we had kids constantly that would latch on to those smaller ones. They're generally set a little farther forward and a little higher, and they're a blind teat with no milk, and so you had to help every kid until they got to be a day or two old to kind of hook on there and make sure they were getting milk. But she is the second best structured, the heaviest boned of the three, second heaviest muscled, and maybe just a little nicer in her neck set than the big, taller framed kind of a doeling here. A little lighter boned, the lightest muscled of the three, but more than adequate in her rib design and capacity. These three all on the right buck could produce really competitive show weathers that could sure compete in this show or just about any others. 3 easy blue ribbons. Nice job, guys. Congratulations. Thank you for bringing me.
And we want to wish a huge congratulations to those 3 for all their hard work and every single person today.
So our does were shown by, the grand champion was by Sage Bradshaw. The reserve champion was Darcy Bradshaw. And in third place, we have Ray Bradshaw. So congratulations. And they did a great job. And I'm going to correct something. So I was thinking that they were bringing some of their other does from home, but these actually have not ever kidded out. So these were animals that they chose that they could have shown in the market class, and they chose to show their weathers. So they did an excellent job. They're same quality as the market class that we saw. So excellent job today. And I'm going to turn my headset over to our judge, Jim Jensen, and let you guys visit with Jim. And he's going to have some great insight for you.
Yep, as we do a little shuffling here, as we pass the headset from Brandy on to Jim Jansen. We'll have him join us for a moment here. Jim, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Well, thank you so much for all of your help over the past 2 days. I think you've done a fantastic job, and I'd love to just ask a couple questions about what your job is like when you come to these fairs.
Okay, great. We really appreciate your support and being here. This is really kind of a highlight for the kids, and appreciate the support and advertisement. Thank you.
It's a great couple days for the kids. And one quick question I want to ask is, we see you out there kind of make groups, and so I'd love to know what's going through your mind as you separate, the kids and their animals into separate groups.
Okay, so it depends on if I'm looking at the showmanship part or the quality. A lot of the times in the showmanship, I'm just moving them to see how they perform. I like to give everybody a chance to perform as a group and then pull them in one at a time so that I can see their individual work, the way they move when there are no other animals influencing them, the way the exhibitor is able to pull them in and set their feet and legs and do all of the things that they need to do in showmanship. And so as I'm sorting them, I'm just trying to separate them out. And sometimes I move them just to see if they keep showing when I move them, and I'll move them to the bottom and ignore them for a while and see if they give up or if they keep showing. When I'm sorting on the quality part of it, generally the groups that I'm making are animals that are pretty similar in type, and then I kind of sort through those too. Our market animals, we can have a lot of different type animals and still have real quality all the way down. And we kind of had that here today. There were some differences in type, but not a lot of differences in quality. Some real quality animals clear down through from top to bottom.
A lot of quality animals. And I want to talk about earlier this morning when we had the hogs out there, where you have no control over the utter chaos, in my opinion. How difficult is it to get a good read and feel when it's just madness?
Actually, in the hogs, the showmanship part is easier than any of the other animals. Because
Really?
Showmanship is about the exhibitor showing the animal to you. So if you're out there and you have 10, 11, 12 animals in the ring, and you constantly keep seeing 1 or 2 or 3, and you see every view that you want to see, and the exhibitor is watching you and paying attention and showing to you, then they separate themselves out really quickly. And so it's hard for kids because there's a lot of confusion out there, and all they have to control that hog is just whatever driving device they're using. But if they've spent the time beforehand and are able to control them and move them around, then you know the quality kind of comes to the top, and you can see the ones who are really showing to you rather than just driving the hog. And there's a big difference there between the ones that are the real showmen and those that are just really good at driving and moving their hog.
Well, Jim, one last question I want to ask before we let you go. Is there a favorite animal of yours to judge?
Not necessarily,
No, you can't give it away?
especially in our market classes. We raise some pretty competitive kind of market lambs, and I pretend that I know more about them because I have raised them for 40-some years, and that's what I showed when I was a kid. But sometimes you get a little more set on what you think is a really good animal if you raise them and are around them all the time, and you have a tendency to look more at what you like rather than the real quality animals that are maybe a little different type. So I probably prefer to judge lambs. I don't know that that makes it the one that I do the best job on, but they're the ones that I've had the most experience with my whole life.
Well, fair enough. And once again, thank you for all of your help over these past 2 days. I think you've done a fantastic job, and we're really appreciative of all your work.
Thank you. We really appreciate your support, and hopefully everyone will come out to the auction and support the kids here at the auction.
Absolutely. So that auction he's talking about is tomorrow morning. We'll get going at 11 a.m., but the auction itself will begin at 11:30, so be sure to tune in for that. Well, for everyone here at the Rich County Fair, for Brandy Mills and all the other staff that makes this a fantastic event possible, and all of our competitors, I am Matthew Peterson. We're going to be signing off, and we will see you tomorrow. And a huge thank you to Stotz Equipment, our sponsors, for making all this truly possible. The broadcast for Colin Holt and Elon Olaf, once again, thank you, and we will see you tomorrow on mylocalradio.com at 11 a.m.
Stotz Equipment, your local John Deere dealership, is your source for new and used equipment, parts, and service. The family-owned company was established in 1947 and still holds true to its founding values: quality, integrity, loyalty, caring, and community. From John Deere tractors and gators to mowers and handheld power tools, they have what you need to get the job done. Let them make your life easier. Stotz Equipment is located in Preston at 451 West, 800 North. Stop by today or give them a call at 208-852-3660.